There's something truly special about talking to people who've lived well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond, folks who still wake up with a spark in their eyes, a sense of purpose, and a smile that says, life is good. Have you ever met someone like that and wondered, what's their secret? Well, I've had the privilege of speaking with dozens of vibrant seniors who swear by simple, daily habits that keep them feeling fulfilled, energized, and downright happy. And guess what? These habits aren't complicated. They don't require fancy gadgets or expensive routines. They're small, intentional choices that add up to a life well lived. So, if you've ever felt like your days could use a little more joy, or if you're looking for ways to stay sharp, active, and content as the years go by, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into the daily rituals that happy people over 70 swear by. And trust me, these are things anyone can start doing, no matter where you are in life. Let's begin with the first habit, and it's one you might not expect. Habit number 1, start the day with gratitude. I once asked a spry 78-year-old named Martha what her secret was to waking up with such a positive attitude. She laughed and said, "Oh, honey, I don't find joy, I choose it." And how does she choose it? By taking just a few moments every morning to reflect on what she's grateful for. It sounds simple, doesn't it? But here's the thing, science backs this up. Studies show that practicing gratitude can lower stress, improve sleep, and even boost your immune system. And you don't need to write a long journal entry or meditate for hours. Martha's method? She sips her morning coffee and mentally lists 3 things she's thankful for. Some days, it's as small as the birds singing outside her window. Other days, it's the love of her family or the fact that her knees let her take a stroll around the block. The key is to notice the good stuff. Because when you start your day by focusing on what's going right, you set the tone for the hours ahead. Try it tomorrow. Before you even get out of bed, think of one thing you're grateful for. You might be surprised how it shifts your whole outlook. Habit number 2, move, but make it enjoyable. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Oh, here comes the part where they tell me to exercise. But hold on, this isn't about grueling workouts or forcing yourself to do something you hate. The happiest seniors I've met don't exercise in the traditional sense. They simply move in ways that bring them joy. Take George, an 82-year-old who told me, "I don't go to the gym. I dance in my kitchen." Every morning, he puts on his favorite big band music and shuffles around while making breakfast. It's not about burning calories, it's about feeling alive. And that's the secret. Whether it's gardening, swimming, tai chi, or even just walking to the mailbox and back, the goal is to find movement that doesn't feel like a chore. The body is meant to be used, not parked in a chair all day. But the moment movement becomes a should instead of a want, we resist it. So, ask yourself, what did you love doing when you were younger? Did you enjoy biking? Swimming? Even rocking in a rocking chair counts, it's gentle motion. The point is to keep your joints happy and your blood flowing, all while doing something that makes you smile. Habit number 3, connect with someone every single day. Here's a truth that nearly every joyful senior has shared with me: loneliness ages you faster than time itself. But the good news? Connection doesn't have to mean big social gatherings or even leaving the house. Betty, a 76-year-old widow, told me her secret: I call one person every day. Sometimes it's my granddaughter, sometimes it's an old friend I haven't spoken to in years. Even a 5-minute chat makes me feel like I'm part of the world. And research shows she's onto something. Regular social interaction can reduce the risk of dementia, lower blood pressure, and even add years to your life. But here's the beautiful part: connection doesn't always mean talking. It could be waving to your mail carrier, chatting with the cashier at the grocery store, or even leaving a kind comment on a friend's Facebook post. The goal is to remind yourself that you're not alone, that you're part of a bigger tapestry of people who care. Now, these first 3 habits, gratitude, joyful movement, and daily connection, are powerful on their own. But there are a few more golden routines that the happiest seniors weave into their days. And the next one? It's all about feeding not just your body, but your soul. You know, there's a saying I love: the little things, the little moments. They aren't little. And that's exactly what we're talking about today, those small, everyday choices that add up to a life that feels rich and meaningful. We've already covered gratitude, movement, and connection, three simple but mighty habits that can transform your days. Now, let's keep going with a few more rituals that the happiest seniors swear by. Habit number 4, feed your curiosity. One of the most surprising things I've noticed about vibrant people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond? They never stop learning. And I don't mean they're all taking college courses or memorizing textbooks, though more power to them if they are. It's about keeping their minds engaged in ways that feel fun. Take my friend Carl, who's 81. He told me, I wake up every morning excited because there's always something new to discover. Some days, he listens to a podcast about history while he putters around the house. Other days, he tries a new recipe, even if it's just adding a different spice to his soup. And once a week, he does a crossword puzzle with his neighbor over the phone. The point isn't to become an expert in something overnight. It's about staying curious. When we stop asking questions, stop exploring, our world can start to feel smaller. But when we keep learning, even in tiny ways, we remind ourselves that life is still full of surprises. So, what sparks your curiosity? Maybe it's picking up a book on a topic you've always wondered about, watching a documentary, or even just Googling an answer to a question that's been nagging you. Your brain loves to be stretched, and the best part? It doesn't have to feel like work. Habit number 5, create something, no matter how small. Here's a truth I've heard over and over from the happiest seniors: making things keeps you young at heart. And before you say, oh, I'm not creative, let me stop you right there. Creativity isn't just about painting masterpieces or writing novels. It's about putting a little bit of you into the world. I think of Rose, a 79-year-old who knits the coziest socks you've ever felt. She doesn't sell them or post pictures online, she just gives them away to friends and family. It's not about the socks, she told me. It's about the joy of making something with my hands. When I'm knitting, I'm not worrying. I'm just creating. And that's the magic of it. Whether it's baking bread, planting flowers, writing letters, or even rearranging your living room furniture, creating something gives you a sense of purpose. It's proof that you're still here, still adding beauty to the world in your own way. So, what's your version of knitting socks? Maybe it's jotting down memories for your grandkids, trying your hand at watercolors, or even just arranging a bouquet of grocery store flowers. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. Habit number 6, let go of what doesn't matter. Now, this one might be the most important habit of all, and it's also the hardest for many of us. But the happiest seniors I've met have this in common: they've learned to let go of the small stuff. I'll never forget a conversation I had with Walter, an 84-year-old who radiated calm. I asked him his secret, and he said, I used to waste so much energy on things I couldn't control: other people's opinions, old grudges, even the weather. Then one day, I realized, I don't have time for that anymore. Life's too short. And that's the wisdom that comes with time, isn't it? The ability to ask yourself, will this matter in a year? If the answer is no, why let it steal your peace today? Now, letting go doesn't mean ignoring real problems or pretending everything's fine when it's not. It just means choosing your battles, and more importantly, choosing your joy. Maybe it's forgiving that old misunderstanding with a sibling. Maybe it's turning off the news when it starts to feel overwhelming. Or maybe it's just laughing when you spill coffee on your shirt instead of letting it ruin your morning. The older we get, the more we realize how precious time is. And the happiest people? They spend it on what truly matters. Now, we've covered 6 powerful habits so far: gratitude, movement, connection, curiosity, creativity, and letting go. But there's one last piece of the puzzle, and it's something that might surprise you. It's not about doing more, it's about being in a way that changes everything. You know, as we've been talking about these daily habits, I keep thinking about something my grandmother used to say: growing old isn't about losing your spark, it's about learning how to tend to it differently. And that's really what this is all about, isn't it? It's not about adding more to your to-do list or trying to turn back the clock. It's about finding those simple, nourishing rhythms that make life feel rich, no matter your age. We've covered so much already: gratitude, movement, connection, curiosity, creativity, and the art of letting go. Now, let's wrap this up with one final habit, and it might just be the most important of all. Habit number 7, rest without guilt. Here's something I've noticed: the happiest seniors don't just go, they also know how to stop. And I don't mean collapsing into bed exhausted at the end of the day. I mean truly giving themselves permission to rest, deeply, unapologetically, without that nagging voice saying, "I should be doing something productive." Take my neighbor, Evelyn. At 77, she takes an afternoon nap nearly every day. Not because she's lazy, but because she's learned that rest isn't a luxury, it's fuel. When I wake up, she told me, I'm not just less tired. I'm more me. And isn't that the truth? Our bodies aren't machines. They're living, breathing things that need care. But here's the catch: rest doesn't always mean sleep. It could be sitting on the porch with your eyes closed, listening to the birds. It could be losing yourself in a novel for an hour. It could even be just not rushing, sipping your tea slowly instead of gulping it down. The point is to let yourself recharge without guilt. Because when you're well rested, everything else, your mood, your energy, even your ability to enjoy life, gets brighter. Now, if you're thinking, that's a lot of habits to remember, don't worry. This isn't about doing everything perfectly every single day. It's about picking one or two things that resonate with you and starting there. Maybe today, you'll take 5 minutes to jot down what you're grateful for. Maybe tomorrow, you'll call an old friend or try a new soup recipe. The beauty is that these aren't rules, they're invitations to live a little more fully. And here's the real secret: none of these habits are about adding years to your life. They're about adding life to your years. Because what's the point of a long life if it doesn't feel joyful, meaningful, and yours? Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this: you've already got so much wisdom inside you. Maybe you've raised a family, built a career, or weathered storms you never thought you'd survive. That resilience? That's your superpower. And these daily habits? They're just ways to honor that, to remind yourself that every day is a chance to choose joy, connection, and peace. So, tell me in the comments, which of these habits speaks to you the most? Or maybe you've got your own ritual that keeps you feeling vibrant. I'd love to hear it. And if this video resonated with you, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps others find this conversation too. Thank you for spending this time together. Here's to your health, your happiness, and the countless small moments that make life so wonderfully alive. Until next time, take good care of yourself. You deserve it.